Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy comes your way now. And make sure to join me, Larry Elder, tonight at 7, only on AM 560, The Answer.
Good morning, Dan and Amy. So Trump was in West Virginia yesterday.
Don't you keep wanting to sing the song, West Virginia? The John Denver song, Mountain Mama.
No, I didn't because I was afraid you might start singing it as well.
Start with this song underneath it. It sounds really well prepared.
Yeah.
We'll get back. We'll have Justin cue up the John Denver.
It's a nice mashup.
Yeah.
I mean,
It's remix, man.
Lincoln Park and John Denver.
Yeah.
If only kind of ships passing in the night, if only they would have been alive concurrently to record something. All right, so Mueller has convened a grand jury. Trump is convening his supporters in Huntington, West Virginia. He did it yet last night, and he had this to say about the whole Russian matter.
The reason why Democrats only talk about the totally made-up Russia story is because they have no message, no agenda, and no vision.
That may be true, but of course Mueller has a message. He has a grand jury. He has the color of legal authority, and he has an agenda, and that agenda is to go wherever the facts lead, I think.
Well, and then also President Trump tried to get the audience involved and reminded them of something.
Are there any Russians here tonight? Any Russians? They can't beat us at the voting booths. So they're trying to cheat you out of the future and the future that you want. They're trying to cheat you out of the leadership you want with a fake story that is demeaning to all of us.
Yeah, that's the politics of it, and I'm not saying that politics doesn't involve the law enforcement side of it either, but the legal side is different. They're connected, but they're separate at the same time. It's kind of like Schrodinger's cat. For more on the topic, we're going to talk to Matt Whitaker. He's a former U.S. attorney, and he's now the executive director of the Foundation for Accountability and Civic Trust. Matt, thanks for joining us. Appreciate it.
Good morning.
So, convening the grand jury as Mueller has done, or paneling a grand jury as Mueller has done, doesn't necessarily mean he sees charges materializing down the line, but it's more likely than not that that's what he believes, isn't it?
No, I don't think that. I think there's a lot of conclusions being made based on this one kind of fact that the grand jury has been convened and issuing subpoenas, which again, both these facts should be, grand jury proceedings should be secret, and so these are being leaked from, it appears, his investigation. But nonetheless, the Constitution, the Fifth Amendment of the Constitution, ensures that anybody that is going to be charged with a felony has to be indicted by a grand jury, and so this would be the first step in any kind of legal investigation. I mean, when I was U.S. attorney, we conducted thousands of grand jury investigations. Most ending in charges, but many sort of a significant number that we did conduct, we ended up not charging, or the grand jury would return what's called a no bill, which is the opposite of an indictment. So, I don't see this as a major development, and I don't think anybody can suggest, based on just this grand jury being convened and issuing subpoenas, that means that folks are going to be charged with crimes. But it is an important milestone in the investigation, and I think one advantage, if you're Team Trump and you're following this, is as these subpoenas issue, you're going to start hearing who they are bringing to the grand jury, or what kind of information they're seeking. You're just going to hear kind of based on word on the street and what lawyers are activating from those grand jury subpoenas, and that should give you a suggestion as to where Bob Mueller's going with this investigation.
Well, is Bob Mueller, is he in search of a crime, or is he trying to prove a crime, or a little bit of both?
Yeah, that's a great question, and it's very hard to tell because these leaks from Bob Mueller's team are very strategic and mostly to make him look productive and on top of things. And so it's going to take a little while once this first set of subpoenas hits and to see where the investigation's going. I expect a man of his stature is going to only go after, kind of a legitimate investigation. And, I've been pretty outspoken over the last day when I read in the CNN report that, his investigation is going to look at financial information and potential financial crimes unrelated to the 2016 election and the alleged Russian cooperation. I think that would be, not only President Trump called that a red line, I think that just is completely inconsistent with our system of justice. And if it just turns into a fishing expedition where they're going to look at everybody and try to just do whatever they can to start charging folks with crimes, I think, that's a legitimate constitutional, let's call it a constitutional crisis and inconsistent with the Fourth Amendment and just the very basic nature that, sort of we are a free people. And, are we entering a new culture where every time we have a new president and the establishment doesn't like him, that we just investigate him until we can find crimes against those surrounding him? It's really, if it ends up in that kind of realm, then we're in a brave new world.
Well, and so Jay Sekulow, one of Trump's attorneys, said no subpoenas have been issued yet that they've received for the financial documents like you're describing. But if such subpoenas were issued, it would be your advice and counsel to the president to take this matter to federal court and have it adjudicated?
Well, it's going to be very interesting as to what the avenues and strategies that the Trump legal defense team uses to combat a overbroad investigation. And I'm not suggesting that we know whether or not it is overbroad yet. There's just a report in CNN that says that it is going beyond the 2016 election and beyond the Russian coordination allegations. And so I think that they're going to have to, this is going to bring in kind of issues of whether Rod Rosenstein, who's the acting attorney general for the Russian investigation, and his normal job is deputy attorney general, so he's number 2 at the Department of Justice, whether Rod has to engage with the special counsel. Because if you read his document that appoints him special counsel and gives him the authority to conduct this investigation, it is, it's not as broad as I think maybe many of your listeners might assume based on what they've heard news reports.
What are the parameters?
Well, it's just very specific to the 2016 election, the Russian coordination issue, and any matters arising out of that. And I just, as I read it, I just read it yesterday, I just did not see where, potential financial crimes unrelated to the 2016 election. So essentially, things like money laundering or bribery or any of those kind of things that would be coming out of the 2016 election related to the Russians. I don't see where anything, that's not related to that could be investigated by Mueller. But, it could be quite a standoff ultimately if Bob Mueller decides to just go, like you said at the beginning, wherever the facts may take it.
Do you see in the future or any point in time President Trump being subpoenaed by this grand jury?
I don't know, and some of that boils down to you don't usually put targets or subjects in front of the grand jury. And so if he's a target or subject of the investigation, then no, I wouldn't suspect that. But I could see his companies, which he's, given operational control to his children, Eric and Don Jr. I could see that. I could see his companies being subpoenaed for documents, and and that's where they're going to get a hat tip or a tip off as to kind of where the investigation's going. If Trump organizations start seeing subpoenas land in their offices in New York asking for certain documents.
On the other side, one of the investigations on the other side, the illegal unmasking of American citizens by intelligence agencies. This goes where we're talking about former Obama senior officials, including National Security Advisor Ben Rhodes, Susan Rice, Samantha Power. Andy McCarthy in National Review has a good piece on this, suggesting why do we not know the answer to this question? Why can't Trump determine if there were issues with unmasking requests and the unmasking of said individuals, including but not limited to General Michael Flynn? He can declassify whatever he wants. Just as Obama declassified the particulars of enhanced interrogation techniques that were previously classified under President George W. Bush. Why can't Trump get to the bottom of the unmasking and reveal it?
Well, my sense is it's a matter of degree, and this is an area that, sort of, while I play pundit on TV, I really don't know much about the unmasking situation. And, from what I've been able to glean and learn and read, it is unmasking. It happens. It's just a matter of kind of how much is happening at any time. And, it appears that what the Obama administration did was extraordinary in the historical sense of unmasking. So, I think it's a tougher, ultimately a tougher case to make, because I'm sure if you look back at the Bush administration and Clinton and those that unmasking was done.
Well, yeah, but
it appears that the Obama administration did an extraordinary amount for political purposes.
Well, right, and that's it, and perhaps without authorization from FISA, and that becomes or without personnel that are authorized to do it. And leaking it to the press, that's leaking of classified information. That's a crime. So, Andy McCarthy doesn't have an answer to the question either, but it's a question I think we should be asking. Trump has sort of within his power, ostensibly, to help us get to the bottom of this rather than leave these questions open-ended, and they don't seem to be acting in furtherance of it. It's just rather curious. Anyway, we'll leave it there.
It's hard to read into what that might be.
Yeah. He is Matt Whitaker, former U.S. attorney, and now the executive director of the Foundation for Accountability and Civic Trust. Matt, thanks for joining us again. Appreciate it.
Great talking to you guys. Thank you.
And he joined us on our turnkey.pro answer line.
It's like a hot